Rick Wilson, I want to ask you where this goes to from here, but first I want to ask this. You're talking about a Republican president, someone you've called an authoritarian president, and you are a former Republican strategist. What does this moment tell us?
I spent 30 years in the Republican Party working to elect people at every level from dog catcher up to president. And in that 30-year period, I never encountered a single person as destructive to the American fabric as Donald Trump. It is why I left the Republican Party just recently and became an independent. And as I've watched my party transform from what was a political party that had an ideology of individual liberty, of constitutional adherence, of the rule of law, of free market economics, suddenly it has now become a sort of surreal, service cult to an authoritarian statist named Donald Trump. Well, the fact that only 10 Republicans came out today, stood up and voted in favor of impeaching Donald Trump, shows you just how broken and corrupted the party has become in this country, and the necessity for a sweeping set of reforms to prevent another Donald Trump in the future.
Yes, 10 Republicans have voted to impeach Donald Trump, but overwhelmingly the Republican Party still stands with the president. Does this tell us that Donald Trump still has a deep hold on the party and that Trumpism survives?
Well, here's the situation. Many of the members of Congress, I spoke to 2 members of Congress today, neither of whom voted for impeachment. And both of them told me, I cannot vote for impeachment because I do not want my family to be murdered. That is the level of fear, that is the level of terrorism Donald Trump has exercised over the party. They believe if they vote against him, they will be murdered, that they will be killed. They saw he dispatched a mob to the Senate and the House on Wednesday of last week. That mob was intent on finding Mike Pence and finding Nancy Pelosi and holding on to power for Donald Trump.
Let me ask you about the future of the country. 70 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. Despite the past 4 years, knowing who Donald Trump is, they voted for him. Where is America right now? Where does this take the country?
We're hopeful that as people begin to get perspective on the last 4 years, they will understand how dangerous, how cataclysmic, how destructive Trump was at every turn. But it is going to be a challenge to re-educate and to reorient 70 million people who believe in very lurid conspiracy theories like QAnon, and who believe in things, about Donald Trump that simply have never been true.
What leadership is required from here? What do we look to now from Joe Biden? And what about the Republican Party itself?
Well, the central issue with the Republican Party is this. Donald Trump has redefined the party as his party. He's redefined the party as the Trump party. So there will be no Republican Party as we have known it over the generations after he is gone. It will still remain as Trump's enterprise, Trump's edifice. They're going to find that in America, the vast divide now is no longer just political, ideological, it's cultural and educational. And the Republican Party is going to end up becoming a much more regionalized party in the Deep South and parts of the Far West. They're going to become a much more selectively compressed party in those states where the demographics still are in their favor. But it is a very difficult time ahead for them. As for Vice President Biden, President-elect Biden, his main assignment is very simple. His main assignment is COVID. If he deals with COVID, that unscrews the economy problems we're facing, and it unscrews a lot of the sense that our government is unfunctional. If he can do that, I think he has a chance of a very successful presidency.
Rick Wilson, just a final thought from you. What happens in America, of course, affects the rest of the world. Australia is a very close ally of the United States. What we're seeing playing out here, what does it mean beyond the borders of the US?
Well, the U.S. always had a reputation in the world of being an imperfect superpower with a strong fundamental base. We were imperfect. We made a million different mistakes across the years and the generations, but America was the singular nation that had this long-running experiment, this long-running republic with a democratic underpinning, and we always had a peaceful transfer of power. And right now, what we're seeing is an inevitable slide towards something much darker. We've had a hostile transfer of power. Unfortunately, the photographs are never going to go away of an angry mob storming the Capitol of the U.S. In a way that doesn't look like America. It doesn't look like the country that survived 240 plus years through thick and thin and up and down as a beacon of hope in the world. Now it looks a lot less stable, a lot less admirable, and a lot more perched on an era and a moment of greater destruction, chaos, and division.
Rick Wilson, again, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.